Myles, Garrett, and the 0-2 Cleveland Browns will host the Micah Parsons-led Green Bay Packers, who start off the season as one of the hottest teams in the National Football League. Now, for Cleveland first, Joe Flacco is the starting quarterback for them. Kevin Stefanski came out and said emphatically that we win and lose as a team. He remains the starter. Has the performance from him been good through 2 weeks? It hasn't. For Jordan Love on the opposite side of that, has it been good? No, it's not been good. It has been great through the first couple of weeks. The stuff that Matt LaFleur has been dialing up against two very good teams. Remember how good Detroit was. 15-2 a season ago. The Washington Commanders get to the NFC Championship game. That offense stalls out against Green Bay. The addition of Micah Parsons, who hasn't even come close to attaining his full potential within that defense. That's a scary thought. Myles Garrett, we saw how dominant, impactful he was week one. He remains the best defensive player in the National Football League. I think that Micah Parsons wants something to say in that, but the way that Micah has played through a couple of weeks doesn't quite compare to the way Myles Garrett has played against some very stiff competition. Against Baltimore, Myles Garrett put up the type of performance. He did all he could to try and keep them in this game. Now, for Green Bay, it's their trench play. It's not just that guy on the edge because he's good. But how about Rashan Gary? Devontae Wyatt. Some of these other guys now that are getting a whole lot more attention. Edgar and Cooper, the second-round draft pick. Xavier McKinney. Shin Nixon. Offensively, Tucker Kraft developing himself with a great role within this offense. Now, Jaden Reed goes down with the collarbone injury. Obviously, long-term, that's tough. Likely won't be getting him back till the end of November. But that just seems like it's not going to impact this offense. That there's so many guys in that rotation now, and they have the rookie in Matthew Golden, that it just means more targets. That's one less mouth to feed and get these guys the football more consistently. For the Cleveland Browns, it's pressure up the middle. They have to get pressure up the middle. Jordan Love has seemingly had forever to throw the ball, and there have been wide open players for him to throw the ball to. Now, Jordan Love will be the first guy to tell you, fourth down against Washington, he had a wide open Matthew Golden. Out of phase, Trey Amos from Washington, the corner. Out of phase just means you're not in position to make a play on the ball. Love underthrew the ball to a spot where Amos was able to come back, deflect the ball. First possession of the game for the Packers. They turned it over. After that, they played a ridiculous game of defense. Offensively, they were solid. Never really in doubt of losing that game on Thursday night at home. Start off the season 2-0, defending Lambeau Field. It has a special feel for Green Bay. For Cleveland, it's just about avoiding an 0-3 start. You see what the rest of the division looks like. Aaron Rodgers with Pittsburgh, they look pretty good. Baltimore Ravens, you obviously just got an up-close look at Lamar Jackson, 4 touchdowns. They ran the football for 45 yards. They went into this game, and you're a Cleveland Browns fan thinking they're going to run the football for 45 yards. Where do I sign my name and come up with that? Well, guess what? Lamar just completely dices them up in the second half now. Remember that this game was close at halftime. Baltimore, in their first 3 possessions of the game, only is able to muster 3 points, but Cleveland cannot get anything going offensively. And what happens? You have special teams. You've got a fumble by Flacco taken to the house. The game's kind of already over at that point. Roquan Smith shows off the wheels, 63 yards to the house. But Cleveland, you have to like what you saw from Quinshon Judkins. Got the ball 10 times for 60 yards on the day, establishing himself, carving out a role within the offense. The stuff in the offseason, however unfortunate. Him on the field, though, explosive, impactful player. Huge part of why that team, Ohio fans know this well, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, of what he was for that natty team for the Buckeyes. Green Bay Packers, that is their sole focus. If we can go out there and stop the run, force Flacco to hold on to the football, they truly believe that they have one of the most opportunistic defenses, and they have the statistics to back it up with how well they took the football over a year ago. that Joe Flacco back there in the pocket, they believe that they can get pressure with 4 with the lineup that they have. Lukas Van Ness now in the rotation. They can keep Gary and Micah and Van Ness, the 3 of them on the field in 3rd and long. Good luck. Really, good luck if you're Joe Flacco. I just hope that he comes out of this game okay and doesn't get hit too bad. It's just been a pleasure to watch him play. We got to see Dillon Gabriel throw a touchdown pass in this game. Obviously, not exactly what you want to see. You want to see this team be competitive in their games. There's still talent on this roster. You can feel it. You can sense it on the defensive side of the ball. But it's just... It's so funny when you think about matchups and how unimportant sometimes statistics are when you look at that stat sheet. No, watch the game. Go down there, watch the game, and tell me what you think. Cleveland was not far away from Baltimore. Green Bay, though, they look clearly like a better team against the Detroit Lions. They're playing the trenches, and they're not even getting the run game going. Josh Jacobs is under 4 yards a carry on the season. If I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm saying, hey, hello. All right. Can we get pressure on Love? Best edge rusher in the National Football League still before that mantle. I don't know if it will be taken by Micah. Garrett's just a different animal because he can play all 3 downs. Not just great against the pass, he's great against the run. Unbelievable. He's already on the Defensive Player of the Year pace. You feel for a guy like that. A proud organization with the Cleveland Browns. Historical franchise. You want to see them closer in some of these games with an opportunity to at least be in a 1-score game like they were against Cincinnati, and you miss the field goal. Just a gut punch. I'm not a fan of either of these teams. I do watch a heck of a lot of them because they're physical. Because they're tough. Black and blue, AFC North, NFC North colliding. These are very special seasons. We get to see the AFC North and the NFC North collide, and they all play each other only once every 4 years. And I got to tell you, those are my favorite seasons because we know that there's a physical element. When you see teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers square off with the Detroit Lions, when the Green Bay Packers play the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns, those kinds of matchups. Where you see blood coming out of guys' noses, players taping their sprained ankle but still going out there and playing because this is a different way to view the sport of football. These types of games, this is how it's played. It drives you back to what the NFL films kind of view music. You can think about it. What a fun matchup. But if you're Cleveland, it's finding a way to run the ball. Because even if this becomes a game where Joe Flacco throws for 310, 315, which I believe he can, there's too many incompletions. What does that mean? There's more time for Jordan Love and that Packer offense to stay on the field. That's the way I see it. I believe Green Bay comes out. They have 7 guys in the box. They're loading it to stop that Cleveland Browns run. And that seems like what they'll do. Halfley. They've done a great job defending the run. Who even knows? With this talent, maybe that they can get the stop with 6, and then you're just left staring at 2 high and being in 2nd and 8, 3rd and 6 all day long because they're running the ball against 2 high in the middle of the field, and you can't find a way to get yards on 1st and 2nd down. That is the most frustrating thing, and that's exactly what the Packers have been able to do this year, is not give up the deep shots, not be susceptible to deep passes down the field, because they can win on 1st down. That is where this team is winning. 2nd and manageable. 3rd and short. Easy work. Play action. Run it into pass. Josh Jacobs not even getting going yet. Once this team does, oh my goodness. It's going to take time. Cleveland likely is not the game where Josh Jacobs has that breakout for 120. But you can see 85 yards off of 17 carries for him. I do have Green Bay winning this game in a big way, 26-10. Feel like these organizations are in just a different spot. Now, if you're a Green Bay Packer fan, close your eyes. If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, just listen for a couple more minutes because I do want you to, at some point, feel this. If you're a Green Bay Packer fan, you close those eyes and think about what you were thinking about your football team going into this year. Lukas Van Ness taking the jump. Jordan Love, 3rd year. That's the year that a quarterback comes into his own, and then you add the elements of a Matthew Golden and the energy on that draft day, what that offense can be. Think about what your expectation was and what the Packers would be this year. And then compare that to how about now with the improvement when you add a Micah Parsons to that team. One of the best edge players in football in his prime added to that team that you already thought had the ability to compete in this division, to win the NFC North, to be right there in the conference, to compete and get to the Super Bowl. And then you add Micah. You got to be smiling if you're a Green Bay Packer fan. If you're a Cleveland Brown fan, I'm sorry you had to experience that. I truly hope that you're able to feel that at some point. You've got a player that's even better than that guy on that side of the field. Is this going to last for longer than another season? No. I loved what Cleveland did. I know this is a deep outlook here, and we're already in week 3, and we're talking about draft and picks, though. But Mason Graham looks like a great player on the interior. You've got that Jags pick, the future first. Like there's the pieces there. Schwarzenegger and Josh Jacobs, how ready are we for these guys to come together and make an explosion of some contact? That is AFC North football. So Cleveland, hang in there for those fans, because you hang in there, you'll be rewarded, I guarantee it, at some point by this team, because they do still have a core piece, and they will have young talent to be able to bounce back. So I appreciate you so much. Let me know down below in the comments whether you are a Green Bay Cleveland fan, what you think of my 26-10 Green Bay Packer win on the road at the Dog Pound. Let me know if I'll be right, wrong. If that's a terrible pick, Green Bay is not going to win this game. Cleveland finds a way. Joe Flacco's won a Super Bowl. Jordan Love is not. Let me know down below what you think. I appreciate you so much. Make sure to subscribe for more football videos in the future. So fired up for the rest of the season, and especially that we get to see big matchups like this the rest of the year. Going to be breaking down every AFC North and every NFL matchup, all the ranked games in college football. So I appreciate you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Thank you.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder, hi everybody, I'm Josh Blunder.
To the 40, 35, 30, Espinosa to the 20.